I knew something was terribly wrong the moment I saw Maple sprawled on the tile floor, motionless. My emotional support cat, a sweet calico named Maple, was usually my shadow in the mornings. But that day, she was lying still, her chest rising in weak, labored breaths, with a small puddle of vomit next to her. I scooped her up, heart pounding, and raced to the emergency vet, whispering, "Stay with me, baby." It was a 10-minute drive, but it felt like hours. By the time we got there, Maple was barely conscious. The vet took one look and rushed her to the back. I just stood there, frozen, fists clenched, trying to breathe. The vet came back out a while later with a grim look. "She's been poisoned," she said. My stomach dropped. Poisoned? By what? I told her I didn't keep any chemicals around. I was always careful because of Maple. She's not just a pet, she's part of my therapy for PTSD. Then it hit me. I pulled out my phone and opened the security app. Just a week ago, I'd installed cameras after a string of weird incidents in my backyard. Things knocked over, strange footprints, and more importantly, after one specific confrontation. 3 months before, I moved to a little neighborhood called Willow Hill, hoping for some peace and stability. My therapist had recommended getting a support animal, and Maple was a 2-year-old rescue who turned out to be my lifesaver. She helped me sleep, stay grounded, just function. At first, Willow Hill seemed ideal. Quiet streets, nice yards. But then came Eleanor Parks, the HOA president. The kind of woman who treats her HOA badge like a sheriff's star. She came knocking just 2 weeks after I moved in to tell me my lawn chair color was non-compliant with community tones. I repainted the chair, but that wasn't the end. She came back to complain about my curtain color, the bird feeder placement, and of course Maple. Pets are to remain indoors at all times. She snapped one day when she saw Maple sunbathing in our fenced-in backyard. I showed her Maple's official ESA documentation, explained the medical reasons, and even pointed out the cat was always supervised. Her response? "Just don't let that animal make our community look unkempt." From there, things escalated. Anonymous HOA notices started showing up. Complaints about visible animal waste, even though Maple was litter box trained. Notes about how outdoor cats violated Section 14 of some obscure bylaw. One day, I even found Maple's water dish dumped over, with weird blue granules scattered nearby. I collected a sample, bagged it, and ordered cameras that same day. Something told me Eleanor wasn't just being petty, she was getting dangerous. Fast forward to the morning of the emergency. I checked the footage from just after I left for work. And there she was, Eleanor, creeping along my back fence, glancing around before pulling out a plastic bag and sprinkling something into Maple's food bowl. Then she used her fingers to stir it, like she was seasoning a dish. I felt sick. My hands were shaking as I showed the footage to the vet, who immediately said, "You need to call the police. This is criminal." Officer Daniels arrived within the hour. He watched the footage, took my sample, and asked about my history with Eleanor. When he questioned her later that afternoon, she denied everything, claimed the video was AI-generated garbage, and said I was trying to make the HOA look bad after receiving multiple warnings. But that facade didn't hold. Police searched her property. In her shed, they found an open box of rodenticide. Worse, they found a receipt dated the day before the poisoning. No rodent problem ever reported at her home. 5 days later, I watched from my porch as Eleanor Parks, the same woman who once demanded I repaint my birdhouse to match the HOA color chart, was led away in handcuffs. Her perfect hair was a mess. Her expression pure disbelief. "This is ridiculous. I am the HOA president," she screamed. Maple survived barely. She spent 3 days on fluids. And though she's stable now, her kidneys need monitoring. But something else changed in the neighborhood after Eleanor's arrest. Neighbors I'd barely spoken to came over with gifts for Maple. And more importantly, stories. Turns out Eleanor had a history. She once fined a veteran for flying a flag, harassed a single dad for having a trampoline, and allegedly tried to push out a retiree to install a garden path that led straight to her backyard. The DA charged her with felony animal cruelty, trespassing, and tampering with property. When she appeared in court, she looked small, pale, and scared. Her lawyer asked for reduced bail. The judge denied it, citing premeditated malice. 3 months later, the verdict came down. 18 months in prison, 2 years probation, $5,000 in restitution, and a lifetime ban from any HOA board. As the bailiff led her away, she shouted, "All over a stupid cat? No, all over a living soul. Over power, control, and cruelty disguised as community regulation. So tell me, what would you have done if you were in my shoes? Should HOA leaders have this much unchecked power? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one.